had, 2-year relationship with MMA as a member. I
Right.
work for companies who are members of the MMA. So 2 years ago, I started getting engaged with the committees and etc. And then 4 months ago was introduced to Greg, who's now our CEO. And then Greg came with me the idea about education. So I think that idea matched with my personal beliefs, what the market needs, not only in Latin America, but with a global perspective. So
Okay.
that was really my drive to join the
Okay.
MMA. First of all, if you compare the ad spending on U.S. on most of Latin American countries, you're going to see a huge difference on that. In Latin America, the total ad spending on the digital world is something around 5%, 6%. If you compare to U.S. where you have 20%, 21%, something like that. And that in Latin America, what I think it's that brands needs to be educated how to use mobile. And the problem is that most of the brands and the agencies associate mobile with technology. And mobile is not technology. Technology is simply the enabler to reach the consumer. And what we need to teach them is that mobile is not a device. Mobile, it's the capacity that you may have to reach out with your consumer, and most of all to engage with your consumer. So as we were talking before, in my opinion, if you have a interactive panel, this is mobile.
Yep.
I mean, mobile is, to interact and most of all engage. So I think now with all the channels that we have, brands have the amazing capacity to open up a dialogue, understand what the consumers want, when they want, and what they want. And that's going to create a huge database so they can use that, of course, respecting the privacy issue, which is also a big concern that we have as a trade association. If you talk about companies like Ericsson or Alcatel and that, they now realize, not now, but like a few years ago, they realize that they have to, have another business because they were basically business that they're selling infrastructure to carriers.
Yep.
And now infrastructure has, the margin of selling infrastructure is falling apart.
Yep.
So now you have to, create new products, and those new products will be relayed in the end with the consumer behavior. So I think those companies have realized that they are now doing a lot of business. So I think the MMA is a great opportunity for them to understand the consumer behavior, and also not only to enhance their products, but also to how can I reach out to them? Because on the MMA you have a very rich value chain that goes from brands into carriers. So I think the opportunity that they have to interact with all the players, it's also a learning process, and also to help the MMA set the standards. So I mean that's pretty much it. And on the brand side, on the Asian side, it's kind of breaking barriers and breaking myths. Like, okay, technology is not an enemy; it's simply your enabling. But the essential element will always be the consumer. So every single element of this value chain has to realize that what matters at the end is the consumer.